So you know the feeling of a downward spiral where one bad thing happens and then some more bad things happen, or where you're not really doing so great and this creates struggle, and that struggle creates more struggle and more struggle. And we get stuck in this cycle and it's so hard to pull ourselves out. That is the downward spiral, right? And we've all been there. Well, we can also get caught in an upward spiral where things just keep getting better and better, where one good thing leads to the next, and you get caught in a winning streak. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to put yourself on that positive upward spiral trajectory and how to stay there so you can keep going up and up and life will just keep getting better and better. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And in case you want more from me, don't forget to check out my deep dive feminine energy course or any of my other digital products like my best-selling Notion templates. They will all be linked down below. So I read this book recently called The Winner Effect, and the author, Dr. Ian Robertson, says something very important. Those who win tend to keep winning, and those who lose tend to keep losing. And this is why we can either get caught in an upward spiral or a downward one. Are we gonna keep winning or are we gonna keep losing? What trajectory are we on? Now, I'm going to talk about how to actually put ourselves on that upward trajectory in a bit, but first it really helps to understand this concept more in depth. Now, in the book, the author uses the example of Mike Tyson. And if you don't know who Mike Tyson is, he's just like a really famous, really good pro boxer. So in 1995, after he went to prison for a little bit, he was back on the boxing scene, right? But what his managers did was that they set up his first two fights with boxers who were like not as good, where it would be a pretty much hopefully guaranteed win. And in Mike Tyson's first boxing match in his official comeback, he knocked out his first opponent in only 89 seconds. And he dominated the next guy in the next match too. And what did this do? This started him on the trajectory of a positive upward spiral and started him off on a winning streak. And his managers, they did this strategically. They wanted him to get into the habit of winning. They wanted him to get into the mindset of winning. They wanted him to feel what winning felt like before fighting more challenging opponents. And it worked. The author also talks about this other experiment that was done with mice. Now, animal experiments are always like ethically questionable, and this one's kind of sad, I will say, but the results are still really interesting, and I think that we can learn a lot from it. Okay, so scientists put two mice in a cage to fight, and I don't exactly know how they got them to fight, but somehow they got them to fight. They instigated a fight. Except here's the catch though, one of the mice was drugged. They were sedated. So basically that drugged mouse had no chance of winning, and they of course lost. And the not drugged mouse, they won. But here's what's so interesting though. These scientists, they kept operating this little mouse fight club, and the initial mouse who won that fight, they for the most part kept on winning. They had a statistically much higher rate of success. But that other mouse, the one that initially lost because they were drugged, they kept on losing. They had a much higher rate of failure. And this is because winning actually changes the chemistry in your body. It increases certain hormones, it increases your dopamine, it increases your confidence. But the short of it is that when we win, we are more likely to keep winning. And this is called the winner effect. Even though a lot of these examples are about like physically fighting and winning, we can still use this concept to help us win at life and hop on that upward spiral. So that's what we're gonna dive into, how to take this concept and use it to create the life we want. And there are three big points that we need to talk about. Number one, give yourself the chance to win. So if the more we win, the more we win, then we need to make sure that we are setting goals that are actually achievable, that we have goals that we can actually win at. For example, if your goal is to be a billionaire, that's great, but is that goal actually achievable at this point in your life? Probably not. Or if your goal is to get fit, and so you say, I'm gonna go to the gym every single day, no days off, is that actually achievable? Not likely. Or saying, I'm never gonna have any sugar ever again. Probably not very achievable. You're likely to lose. Or let's think smaller. If your goal for the day is to check off 20 things on your to-do list, are you actually gonna win at that? Like, is that an achievable goal? For me, I don't know, 20 sounds like a lot, so probably not. And therefore, you will feel like a loser. The important thing here is that if you feel like a winner, that is when you will get those winning effects. And if you feel like a loser, that is when you will get those losing effects. And so therefore, if you set yourself up for failure by setting goals that are just like not achievable, that are nearly impossible, then you will always fall short. And little by little, every single day, your subconscious will think, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough. I never do what I set out for myself. I don't trust myself. I'm not confident in myself. Or when you have those big mega goals, you have to be able to break them down into smaller achievable goals. So for example, let's say you have a really big goal of having your own business that makes $1 million a year. That's a really good goal. But if you're just completely fixated on the end goal of being a millionaire business owner, then every single little tiny step along the way is gonna feel so small and so inconsequential and almost like a failure, almost like you're not doing good enough. Setting up your first janky little website, getting your business license, getting your very first client. Making your first $100 seems so silly when you compare that to the ultimate goal of millionaire business owner. It gives you the feeling that you're kind of failing, even when you're not. You're on your way. There has to be little achievable goals along the way that you can win at. And that is how you reach those big mega goals. The author says in the book, the people who actually end up achieving the most tend to set moderately challenging targets for themselves. Keyword is moderately. And he says that setting your targets too high can actually have disabling effects, or in other words, give you those loser-like effects. So if you want to start spiraling upward, you have to give yourself the chance to win. Or let's say you're having a rough time, you're in a rut, you're really struggling. To get back on that upward spiral, you have to allow yourself to win at something. So yeah, maybe you do really need to write that 20,000 word thesis that you have to finish by the end of the year. But if you're totally depressed, rotting in bed, then a better goal might be to just get up, take a shower, or wash your hair, maybe put on a cute outfit. Or maybe the goal is just to make your bed and clean your room, because that is something that you can actually win at. And once you start winning, once you start achieving, even if it's little, that's when that upward motion starts. And once you're caught in that upward motion, it's easy to keep going and life starts moving in the direction you want. Winners tend to keep winning. So don't set yourself up to lose. Number 2, embrace the winner mindset. Now here's the thing with winning. When we're playing a basketball game or a tennis match, it's really obvious whether we win or lose. It's clear cut, black and white. But in the game of life, everything is subjective. In life, winning is subjective, and for the most part, it's just based off of our own perception. And this is important. We can use this to our advantage. Again, when you feel like you win, that's when you get those winning effects. And so when we win, that's when we stay motivated and excited. That's when we keep taking action and keep showing up. That's when we keep believing in ourselves and thinking positively. And because we keep showing up, because we're more confident, we make more progress towards our goals. And the more progress we make towards our goals, the more we feel like a winner. And on and on and up we go on that upward spiral. So there are some things in life that'll just feel like a really clear win. You get that huge promotion at work, or you go on the most amazing first date ever. Or after working out for a few months, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, whoa, who's that? Or you have one of those days where everything is just easy. You get everything done so quickly and you're in bed in your PJs, all cozy by like 7 p.m. and you get to watch your favorite show. Those things are easy to see as wins, but what about the other stuff? Let's say your boyfriend breaks up with you. That sucks, but also, maybe it's a win. He clearly wasn't the right one for you anyways, and now he just opened up the path for some other amazing person to walk into your life. Maybe you tried to start a business and after a year you had to close it down. That's a bummer, but also you learned so much in that process, and next time that you go to start your next business, you're gonna be 100 steps ahead of where you started last time. And that business probably wasn't even right for you anyway, so now you'll create something better. Or heaven forbid, let's say you get into a car accident. The loser's mindset will think, ugh, why me? Why do I have to deal with this? I can't believe I just got into an accident. Now I have to get my car fixed, take it to the shop. Ugh, why can't I ever catch a break? The winner's mindset will think, I'm alive. Thank goodness for the airbags. I'm so lucky that I'm okay. I'm so grateful that I'm okay, that nothing serious happened. Everything always works out for me. With so many things in life, you can choose to see things either as a win or as a fail. And it is purely based off of your own perception. And your own perception will determine whether you stay on that winning streak and on that upward spiral, or if you reroute and start on that downward one. There's also something in psychology called the broaden and build theory, and it basically kind of reaffirms what I'm saying, but in a different way. And in short, it basically says that when we're feeling good, when we're feeling positive emotions, our mind opens up and we're able to notice and take advantage of the possibilities around us. When we think negative thoughts, our minds close in a sense. It tends to think rather narrowly on the problem and on that negativity. And then we can't see the possibilities and our lives will suffer because of it. Having that winning mindset, like noticing all the wins, This is you looking for the good. That is you choosing to experience positive emotions instead of negative ones. This is opening up your mind in that positive upward direction, and this is what allows for more good things to come. If you're stuck thinking about all of the losses, all of the fails, all of your problems, then that is what you will keep perpetuating because your focus is so narrowly stuck on that. If you want to rewire your brain and stay on that positive upward spiral trajectory, you have to find and notice the wins, even if you have to be a little bit delulu sometimes, because this is what's gonna bring in more. Number 3, use the domino effect to your advantage. Now, lastly, we always have the domino effect going on in our life, always, whether you realize it or not. For example, you stay up late on your phone one night just like scrolling, and so you go to bed late. And then because you go to bed late, you wake up late and tired. And because you wake up late and tired, you rush out the door. You don't get to make yourself a breakfast. You don't get to put yourself together and look cute. And you're grumpy. And because you're grumpy, you have a bad work day. And because you're tired, grumpy, and feeling stressed from your bad work day, you decide to skip your evening workout. And because you skip your evening workout, you feel bad about yourself. And because you feel bad about yourself, you eat some junk food to feel better. And you just fall into a bad place mentally, and because you're feeling so negative, you just push your friends and your family away and you isolate yourself. See how that one little action of scrolling on your phone and staying up late was that first domino that started off that downward spiral? Well, the opposite is the same. Let's say you get into the groove of waking up on time and working out in the morning. Because you're getting those good workouts and you're like, oh, well, I should probably start eating better and drinking my water so that I can like recover from my workouts and so I'm not wasting my time at the gym. And then because you're eating better, you're drinking more water, you're working out, all of a sudden you start feeling better. And because you feel better, you sleep better. And because you sleep better, you wake up more refreshed. Your skin is much more clear. Your mind is more clear. You start feeling more confident. All of a sudden, you got a little pep in your step. You're more positive, and because you're more positive, you're more social, and people like being around you. You're more loving. You develop better relationships, and because you're more positive, because your mind is more clear, because you're feeling better, because you're able to develop these better relationships, all of a sudden, your career starts taking off. And then, because your career starts taking off, you start making all this money. The domino effect is always happening in our life, and that is why winners tend to keep winning and losers tend to keep losing. So be strategic about which dominoes you are setting off. When we accidentally set off a negative domino, which we will, the staying up late, scrolling on our phone, or whatever it is, notice that domino and then consciously, actively choose to turn it around. Choose to put in place a positive one. Every day when we wake up, those first dominoes are already starting to fall. And they're either putting us on that upward spiral trajectory or the downward one, depending on which ones you choose. There's no in between. So especially in those first moments in the morning, they are crucial. Do you wake up and immediately start scrolling your phone and start comparing yourself to all the other girls that you're seeing on the internet, and then you start thinking negative thoughts about yourself? If so, that first domino is already falling and already leading you down that downward spiral. But maybe if you wake up, read a few pages from an inspiring book, make your bed, put on a cute outfit, eat some breakfast with protein, you're hitting down those first dominoes that are causing you to move upward. Every action you take, every thought you think is a little domino. And those dominoes are always hitting the next one, setting off a chain reaction. So if you want to stay on that upward spiral, recognize the dominoes that you are knocking down. That is it for this video. I personally found this topic really interesting, and I hope that you guys found it interesting too and got some value from it. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying until the very end, and we will see you next time in our next video. Bye.